Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ancient Mysteries Revisited, and I'm your host, Rodney McGilvery, coming to you every Mondays and Wednesdays at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Welt 95.7 FM in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and streaming live at www.weltfm.com. Today we got Emilio DeJesus on the show from Pennsylvania, and we're going to discuss the ages of the world, as well as ancient humanity, different tribes and cultures, as well as astrology. So without further ado, let's bring him on the show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Emilio. How are you doing this evening?
Doing great, my friend, Ronnie. Yeah, I've never done this before, so...
Well, how does it sound on your end? You sound pretty clear over here so far.
You sound real clear, too, so...
Sounds good. All right. Welcome to Ancient Mysteries Revisited here on Welt 95.7 FM here in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Are you recording right now?
Yes, you are.
All right.
Recording. You'll be on the air tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. here. And it'll be streamed live too on www.weltfm.com. I'll send you a link to that too if you'd like.
Yes, I would love to.
Sounds good, my friend. All right, if you want, let's get things going. Give our listeners a little background about yourself, if you don't mind.
Okay, my name is Emilio DeJesus. I was born in Lancaster, PA. And I guess a little bit of me, I love comic books. Grew up, reading them since I was 14. Then, I've been emancipated since the age of 14. Went to community college for half a semester, couldn't afford it. I lived on my own, so no help from no family, no nothing. So I always wanted to know the truth about humanity, where we came from, everything. So I read about literally 7 different Bibles, and I learned. I looked into the ancient cultures or the ancient pyramids and everything, and I saw a pattern, numbers. The numbers repeats itself on everything, on all the religious texts and all the ancient Egyptian temples. Then when I looked into I asked myself, let me look at the 16th Chapel by Michelangelo, and right there it is. You have to remove the paintings, and then right there, all the knowledge right there in plain sight to all to see. And I was like, wow, am I going crazy? And it's kind of weird when somebody understands that universal knowledge and what goes on, and you try to explain it to people, and they think you are crazy. They think you have mental health and everything. I go, no, man. We've been lied to and everything. So
very true. I think that's one reason why ancient societies, or even modern secret societies that come from ancient societies, are kept hidden in secret, because if they come out into the public eye, they are told that they are crazy or that they're satanic, even when they're not. You know what I mean?
There's no such thing as being a satanic. It's all this. Let's just put it this way: if you think a person's satanic, the Christian religious person, whoever it is, they're doing the same thing.
Very true.
They just don't know it. They don't know it. It's just the same thing. So, but for the truth, you have to study the stars and nature. And you will see through all the illusions.
Oh, yes. That's what happened in the Middle Ages. That's why a lot of, the alchemists were called witches and were burned at the stake or murdered by the church.
The church, man, they're keeping the people's mind primitive. It's just they're keeping the people... I'm not sure why they're doing this, because it's even in our education system. They're working the kids' mind so hard. And I don't understand the reason behind it, because they're not letting us know. They're not telling the people the truth. It's why? Even these people that call themselves scientists, and they call themselves, wow, there's a name for it, but my mind is blank right now. But they think they know, but they actually don't know, because they've been programmed to think inside the box.
Right, and that. The scientists work within the realm of academia, and academia has certain criteria that they must hold, and it's pretty much whatever the mainstream viewer is allowed to view. if they go outside of this realm of academia, then they're considered heretics. And you know what this world or this society, at least in America, does to heretics? They're shunned.
Yeah, man. So what kind of questions you would like to ask me? Because I know so many things. It's like,
well, if you want, let's begin with. It seems like you are pretty. You have a good knowledge of astrology, and it seems like that's what a lot of ancient cultures used to determine the ages of the world. Let's go into that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your history of astrology, your research and whatnot.
well, okay, for everybody out there listening, okay, if you go to the website and into your regular website, and you just download your constellation star map, right there is all the knowledge for you guys. But you will see the constellation star map. The first thing you will see the 12.
Okay.
You will see the 12. But the hard problem I was having was looking for the 13 constellation. All right. So then I saw there was that, like I said, X marks the spot, right? The S. So right there is our 13 constellation in the middle. All right. Then when you read the religious text or the ancient cultures, you will see that it says that we are located with the two pillars. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the two pillars, if I remember correctly, it will be Capricorn and Pisces. All right.
Okay.
So, but I'm not sure if people are gonna understand, that knowledge right there. I don't think people are gonna comprehend it. So it's gonna kind of be pretty hard. But they have to look. The total constellations they have to understand is the 18 constellations. All right. We will have the 12. Then the 14 is located in the west. All right. I mean in the east. Then the 13 constellation is located in the cross. Like Jesus is the yellow sun. For those people who are listening out there.
Very true. You could go into that too if you want. It seems like astrology, with what you're saying right now, with the cross, the Southern Cross, it is a perfect reflection on the crucifixion of Christ. The same storyline is mapped out in the stars.
Yeah, it's all about the stars. So, for example, when I was doing all my research, all right, the first thing I learned was our millennium cycle, all right? So every millennium cycle, the red sun is a red sun solar system. It comes in, right? Mm-hmm. It comes in, like it says in the Bible, nobody knows the day or the hour, all right? When the return of the Alpha and Omega, you understand?
Yes.
So, but it doesn't say anything about the month and the year, you see? It's okay, nobody knows the day and the hour, but we know the month and the year when it comes in. So it's every millennium cycle on the month of June to July for 40 days. So, like I said, all the Bible stories repeats itself. Because when you read it, it says, it will say, let's say, Noah's story was for 40 days. Then when you read the Jonah story, one of the people 40 days, there's a lot of verses in the Bible that either starts or end with the number 40. It's just telling you that in the month of June to July, every millennium cycle, the red sun comes in, changes energy with the yellow sun, who is Jesus, and so it makes everything new again.
So that the 40-day cycle will start in June, and then so you work yourself 40 days, and that's the whole, the procession of the sun right there.
And it's in the Statue of Liberty. When you look at it, it has a number 40.
Okay.
When you look at the Egyptian temples, the god Thoth, it has the number 40. Even the Aztec temple has a number 40. Even in the Sistine Chapel, when you count all those paintings inside the wheel below, because there's two wheels, it has the number 40. All the paintings together is 40. You see, it's all there to all to see.
So does this go along with the two pillars that you just mentioned?
Well, that's the thing. When you read the AMR Tower of Thought, the brothers of darkness and the brothers of light. Those are the two pillars.
Okay.
It's just talking about spring and summer is the one pillar, and autumn and winter is the other pillar. You understand?
Yes.
Those are the two pillars. The brothers of light and the brothers of darkness. You understand?
Which also, that does coincide also with the the two pillars of Solomon.
There you go.
Boaz and Joachim. Yes.
Yeah.
It's all there.
And remember, when it talks on Solomon Temple is at number 72. Same with the I think the Quran, 72 versions of I think Allah, 72 versions of something. It's just saying when you divide this at number 72 with 4, it's 18. Those are the 18 constellations. You will have the 12, the 12 month of the year, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But then you have to add the 7, who are the 7 constellations with suns.
Okay.
Those are the 7 trumpets, the 7 golden seals. Those 7s are the 7 constellations with suns, who has to do with the Earth axis, tilts, all those things.
Right.
But the 14 doesn't come into every millennium. That's all those changes.
The 7 is also the number of completion.
That's right. It's all has to do with our astrology, where our 7 constellations with suns. And I have it all listed on my site. If you want those, it's all there. I'm only confused with one. Because when I was looking for so many scientists. They always have like different number 7. So I just look for the ancient Egyptians and everything. I look for the ones that we can see with our eye. But there's one that I think I'm wrong with it, but I'm not sure. That's why I need people who learn about astrology. They can figure out which, because the red sun comes in and it changes energy with these other 6 constellations. She's the 7. So I know Orion holds 2 suns. She changes energy in there. But I'm confused with the one, the Procyon. I'm confused with that sun constellation.
The belt of Orion is a very important astrological sign. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think the star Sirius resides right beyond Orion's belt, doesn't it?
There we go. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, you know why it's so important? Because look, Orion. Okay, when you look at Orion, that's when in our astrology, Orion holds Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay.
Okay.
So that means, okay, this is where people are gonna get ready. This is the crazy part. We have 10,000 years of light, 2,000 years of darkness. Okay. So the 2,000 years of darkness, that's the Ice Age. We got 8,000 years to go before we hit there. We just came out of the Ice Age 2,000 years ago. Okay. So and Orion holds Capricorn and Aquarius, and Sirius is Pisces. You see the fish.
Mm-hmm.
So when the fish comes, that is Pisces, is 10,000 years of light, and Orion holds Capricorn and Aquarius. That's 2,000 years of darkness. Now you understand what you just told me?
Yes, I do.
You see?
And the star Sirius, I mean, there are some ancient cultures that think the star Sirius, it's reflective of the second coming.
Yes. Well, we've been through 5 ice ages.
Right.
Now we're gonna go to the 6. So there's no second coming. Now that's just the religious people. We're going on the 6th transmutation.
Okay.
So we've been, for example, we have, when people talk about apocalyptic cycles in the end of the world, that's all a lie. We in the 62 apocalyptic cycles, where the 8 sons have been awakened, the 8 kings, whatever you want to call it, for 200 years. That's climate change. That's the true reason for climate change. All right? That's just the red sun cycles, the millennium cycles.
Okay.
That's the first trinity. The second trinity is the Ice Age cycles. We have 5 of those. So the second coming, what religious people are talking about, no, it's just when the 2,000 years of darkness, age of Capricorn and Aquarius are over, and the age as Pisces, that's connected with Sirius, with that blue sun in there, is 10,000 years of light again. So it will be a new species, because the ions in the air changes. It's transmutation during those 2,000 years. The magnetic frequency, the radiation from the cosmos, it all changes for 2,000 years. We're breathing the new breath of life.
Okay.
Everything changes.
So right now, if I am not mistaken, we're in the age of Aquarius, right? Which started around 2012. Is that correct?
No. We're in the age right now. Okay, we're in the year 2000. Mm-hmm. So that means we finished the age of Pisces, because when you read the Bible, 1 is like 1,000.
Okay.
So we finished Capricorn and Aquarius. Those are 2,000 years of darkness. So in the year, okay, I'm not sure how they did the date, but right now in the year 2000, that means that we're in the age of Aries, right? Into the year, because the red sun came in the year 2010, made her changes for 6 years, 6 months, 6 days at the mark of the beast. Okay.
Okay.
She made her changes. So now in the year 2016, on June, the red sun came into our 13th constellation. Exchange energy with our yellow sun. You ever heard of the Hopi Indians, the blue Kachina?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you see the blue Kachina is actually, when you read her things, it says in reality it was a red Kachina. But when she came through the twins, you see the twins is the constellation.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in for 40 days, she exchanges energy, then she becomes a blue Kachina. You see?
Okay. So
You see, and when you read, go ahead.
when do you think the next age is supposed to begin then? When's our current cycle going to end?
Okay, right now we're in the age of Aries, and we move up to the next cycle for another 1,000 years, up to the star constellation map. You know what I mean? Each one is of 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 8,000 years before we hit the age of Aquarius. Okay, before we hit that one again. That's the last 1,000 years of sunlight. Then we hit the age of Capricorn Aquarius, where it's the ice age again. But that's not for a long, long way to go. That's why we have a lot of technology. And that's another story, because if we talk about that, they're going to think I'm crazy for the foolish. They're going to think I'm real crazy.
Well, no, it seems like at the end of the age, technology advancements happen very rapidly, and there's really strong advances in technology. And I think that's what happened with Atlantis. Atlantis, I think, was a very technological society, and they reached the end of their age, and then that's why Atlantis fell.
I'm not sure about those stories. I'm not sure if those were just somebody who wrote it. Like I call the people who wrote the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. I call those people magicians, wizards. They hide everything. And I haven't read those stories yet, but I'm just thinking it has just knowledge in there for the people that really wants to learn. When I study history and I looked at the ancient temples and the underground cities, mm-hmm. and then I looked at advanced, because they were generation 4. They were like giants. They said they were like 8 to 12 feet tall with elongated skulls. You understand?
Yes, there has been multiple different proofs of evidence of these giants. So
those were the wave 4.
Okay.
When you study about, for example, when they teach us in school that our galaxy cycle is a 2.30 to 2.50 million years old, that's a lie. Our galaxy cycle is 12,000 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's why people need to understand the wheel above and the wheel below. You have to understand your astrology, the signs and everything. You have to understand those. Like I said to people, studying the first main 12 ones. Okay. Then look at the wheel above. It's the same thing. The wheel below is about 365 days, and the wheel above is 12,000 years. So then you have to make sure that you understand each single one. Right now we're in the age of Aries, okay, until the year 3016. Then that's the when the red sun comes in and does her changes again. Then she would do it again at year 4016, then 5016, then 6016, until the year 1016. That's the age of Aquarius. It's the last 1,000 years of sunlight. Then the sun gets covered by the reservoir water, by the vapors, by the valley of death. I will walk and fear not, eat no evil, because the sun gets blocked by this dust clouds. Like it's a dust cloud. In Frozen, they call it the dark rivers when you watch that cartoon movie. So there's no sunlight for 2,000 years. Earth turns into the ice age. Then it returns in the age of Pisces. Let there be light again.
Okay.
You understand? When you read the Bible, in the beginning there was darkness, Capricorn, Aquarius. Then the third day, God said, "Let there be light." That's the age of Pisces for 10,000 years.
Now, you also mentioned the black sun. There's a lot of ancient cultures, even in modern times, that mention a black sun.
That's the 2,000 years of darkness, the black sun.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2,000 years of darkness, the black sun. That's what I'm saying. All these underground cities when they were digging and they found the skeletons, they all had that elongated skulls. Those were our ancient ancestors. They gave birth to us, the new species. So when we go through this in 8,000 years, when we hit the reservoir water again, the age of Capricorn Aquarius, that's the ice age, the future people will live underground for 2,000 years. Those women will give birth to the new species. They're going to be a smaller species. And people ask me, do I have evidence about this? Yes. It happened before. Look at the ancient temples. There were giants. We walked among them. Who walks among us that are smaller than us? The small people, the midgets. You see? The next wave are going to be like them, but they're going to look different.
And that probably has to do with everyone being pushed underground. That's going to affect the biology of human at that time.
Correct. That's the ions or something changes, affecting something in our bones. That's transmutating all the living species, everybody, even the animals. So
now, most of the animals that do not have the capabilities of digging themselves underground, they're probably not going to survive. So, I mean, even humans themselves, there's probably a vast majority of humanity that are not aware of this cycle and are not going to be prepared.
They have it real hidden, so it's really hard. I was trying to wrap my mind around it.
But you did say that we still have a long time before this actually happens.
Oh, yeah, China is already making an artificial sun.
So that probably is...
You understand?
If you look at the world right now, there's a lot of people that are opening up their minds and receiving different knowledge, a lot of ancient knowledge that they used to not believe in. And that probably has to do with the current age we're in, and it's probably natural for humanity to eventually get prepared.
Yeah, that's. I think this is why the way they were doing it this way. That I'm hoping this is why they're doing it like this, so people can evolve their minds slowly and accept the truth. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure what the elite's plan are. I don't know. So I'm just saying what I have learned, and if humanity only just understand the stars and our cycles, and our, it's all there on my website. Just look at the 12 above. The wheel above is our galaxy. It's 12,000 years, and the wheel below 365 days. They have to understand when you put 12 times 12 is 144,000. It's always there in Earth. It's not like the Bible says with the lamp and all that, with the lamb, all that stuff. That's just illusions mixed with astrology numbers and everything.
Oh yeah, a lot of symbolism there, which if people could read behind the symbols, they would have a better understanding on who we are as humans, as well as the various cycles that we live in, and they would know how to live a better life, I'd say. A more fuller, a deeper life.
And they will live a more happier life. People need to learn how to read between the lines. They have to be able to see through the illusions. And the thing is, they haven't touched the stars yet. They're still just. We have the people who believe on all the different religions. Then we have the people who believe on the new mind control, the ancient aliens, and all those. You know what I mean? There's a lot of illusions confusing the people's minds. And the only truth that I learned was from the American Indians. Understand nature, cannot tree, and that's what I did. I started to understand nature, how it works. Then I started to see through everything.
Okay. Do you have a background in like Native American history yourself?
No, I just watched a lot of their videos on YouTube. The Star Shadows.
Oh, okay.
The Eskimos and how they understand that something happened to the Earth, how it tilted, something is wrong, and I always try to read everything and understand everything in nature. Like a lot of stuff is hidden. Like you have to connect the puzzles and the lines and everything. Because there's a lot of lies. Even when you go to Wikipedia, there's a lot of lies in there. And
oh yeah, look at how Wikipedia is even set up. Anybody could go on there and edit various sources of Wikipedia, so anybody could put anything on there. They could falsify information, and which I guarantee most of it's false. I wouldn't trust that at all.
I would tell people, don't ever follow anyone. Just understand nature, get to know it.
That's a valid reason. There's it goes along with the philosophy as above, so below, which you've been mentioning, which is the Hermetic philosophy. And also, there is an ancient Egypt proverb, which is also found in the Bible, which is the kingdom of heaven is within you.
Yeah.
It's within yourself. If humanity started digging deep within themselves, they would come up with the truth.
Yeah. I went to a lot of religious organizations, to their churches and everything. I even tried to explain to them, do you understand what the God word is? Yeah, God is our Lord and Savior. No. Look, God, when you look at the words G7, O15, D4, there's all astrological meanings. Okay, and they go, what do you mean? Well, G is the 7 constellation with suns. O, 15 passages of the redstone solar system, is in the 16th chapel. It's the wheel above and the wheel below. And the D is the 4 seasons. And they go, oh, they start arguing with me and screaming, and I should leave their church, or they're going to call the cops on me and everything. I say, hey, I'm just thought that it was Bible class to us to understand the truth. You people just want to stay on your fictional characters. That's when they kick me out. So,
well, if everyone believes in the same religion, it's easy to control the population. I think that's why they do it, I think.
Yeah, I think they created it to maintain the population down, to create wars.
Okay, so like population control?
Yeah, because when you read a military contract, it says balance. Then when you look at the Georgia Guidestones, it says maintain humanity under 500, I forgot what it was, 500,000, I think it is, and appropriate balance with nature. So when I read balance, and when I read any military contract around the world, it says balance too. So I go, is this supposed to be a self-sacrifice that everybody's doing without knowing? But I'm not sure. So
I kind of thought that about war too. Is it's a giant sacrifice to some ancient god that has been living through these organizations that control humanity.
I think it's just the way to maintain the balance. Too many people on the planet Earth. So
probably. All right, let's dig in a little bit deeper. Figuratively and exactly what this is. Do you believe in the hollow earth theory at all?
Man, I so many books I read, I can't find anything about it. Only who was it? Jules Burns who wrote about that.
Well, I've heard about it through this Navy captain back, I think in the 40s, called Admiral Byrd, and he had a diary written where he had a voyage up to Antarctica and found the hollow earth entrance, went in there and came back and wrote this diary, and it's official government documentation. And it goes also along with the Nazis had a base up in Antarctica too, and they were digging into the occult, and somehow they had communications with the hollow earth. But it's all speculation.
And all my research, even with the ancient Egyptian temples and the Aztecs in India, I haven't seen anything. You know what I mean? I saw that video once on the History Channel with the one guy you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I was fascinated about it, and I read so many books trying to find it out. If it does exist, they have it really hidden. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have that one, so I'm not sure about that one.
I only ask because I wonder if like any of these underground civilizations that's happened in the past, when the age or the end of the age comes around and people are forced underground, I wonder if that somehow ties into the hollow earth.
If that was true, then you would think why all these other underground cities are for around the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's about over 250 underground cities, and people live there. So it's like, okay, if the hollow earth is real, why are these underground cities are for? So I don't know.
Very true. Have you heard of the Mammoth Cave in Kentucky?
No, I haven't heard about that.
It's a giant cave system, that's in Kentucky that goes from, I think, one end of America to the next, and some say that the Native Americans use that for traveling. And I wonder if so right now current explorers have not reached the end of this cave system. So I wonder if they use this cave system during different end of the ages.
Probably they did because, like I said, our government is working on our underground cities. China is constructing a artificial sun. So you must think about it. Even when you watch the movie The Matrix, I think the last one where the people live underground, and they kind of give a hint about it.
Oh,
they're not talking about the ice age, but they said that the skies were darkened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's like, man, how these people gonna live underground? They show this big machine, how they took their energy and everything. So that's what probably China is doing. They're doing the prototypes of the artificial sun. So
I'm not too familiar with the artificial sun that China has created. If you want to go into that a little bit, that'd be interesting.
Somebody heard me talking about the 2,000 years of darkness. I was saying, man, we need to teach people the truth so we can come up with new technologies. I can't even fathom what we need to do. And somebody told me, hey, I heard your video, and here, look at this, the artificial sun. That makes sense. And I said, hey, it does. I just learned about it this Friday. So I thought it was a fake thing, but a lot of people told me, no, it's true. And I was like, wow. So China is constructing the first artificial sun. This is in its first stages. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into that because that could be a major thing.
Yes, that's why they're getting ready. They got 8,000 years to go. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I looked this up just now. They're using nuclear fusion to create an artificial sun, which sounds extremely dangerous.
Well, they're saying they want to harvest the energy of the sun, then create. And I was reading about it. My mind can't wrap itself around it. But I can see it's for just technologies for the future underground cities, because they're gonna need to harvest food and create a new ecosystem and all that stuff. So it makes perfect
Here's
sense.
A technology website says it's semp.com saying China's completed artificial sun to start operation in 2020. So it's right around the corner.
Yeah. But it's just a prototype. They're saying that, but it's just a prototype. We got a long way. Imagine here in 8,000 years in the age of Aquarius, that last 1,000 years of sunlight. Just imagine those future people, how beautiful the Earth and how everything's gonna look like. Well, that super beautiful technology that I can't even wrap my head around. It's like,
this article was just published maybe 2 weeks ago, and
that's what I'm saying.
It's saying that their China's nuclear fusion device burns with the power of 13 suns, and they plan on starting the operation this coming new year.
That's just it's preparation, man.
That's exactly what it is. That is crazy. I didn't know they were working on that.
2,000 years of darkness, man. You have to figure out so many things.
It's coming soon, and I mean, I think the world itself feels the same, where it feels like definitely something has changed in the world as a whole. Like we are definitely entering something that we're not used to, something new. And it's what you're describing.
The only two guys who are close to the truth with all that alien mythology is Mr. R. Buick and Mr. Jen Peniston.
Okay.
So those are the only two guys, all the alien stuff. When you listen to them and you hear it, they're not talking about extraterrestrials. They're saying, okay, it's a crystal UFO, Mr. Jen Peniston, crystal UFO that gave him binary codes. So when you hear a crystal, everybody else recording UFOs, they're all metal and everything. I say, okay, this is the real one, crystal UFO. So this is AI technology. It's not no aliens or nothing. It's just AI technology, time travel technology. So when you listen to Mr. R. Buick, he's a time traveler, he says. but you have to listen to his stories. Okay, it's like it's a really weird thing. So he's saying he talked to the AI from the future. The AI told him that when humanity is ready with technology, that they will find 7 discs. So when you listen to Mr. Jim Peniston, he touched the UFO. The UFO gave binary codes. It was 7 locations. Nobody knew until the 1980s when they created computers, and this computer guy said, "Oh, those are binary codes." He entered the numbers in and gave him 7 locations. Military went looking for these 7 locations. They were underground caverns full with UFOs with future technology. AI came from the future, from the year 81,000, buried all this technology during the Ice Age cycle in the age of Capricorn Aquarius. They buried all it, everything. When humanity grew in wisdom, they will take this technology, reverse engineer everything to advance exploration of humanity. You see, to prepare for what's gonna come. For right now, the chemtrails is future technology. You know the chemtrails that you see in the sky.
Yes.
You see, that's just protecting us from the radiation of the sun. We have CERN. We have GMO foods because the food has more radiation from the 8 suns. Vaccination. Man, I forgot his name. He just did a book. You still there?
Yeah. Keep going. Huh?
I forgot his name. Yes, this Bob Lazar.
Okay.
He worked for them for a little while, and he said that all these UFOs been buried. You see, he confirmed everything that I was saying, but he thinks they're aliens. No, man, you even confirmed that UFO spacecrafts as for a small species. That's us, because we are getting smaller and smaller through every cycle. But when I tried contacting them and everything, when I was trying to say that's not aliens, no, that's a, they thought I was crazy. I said, hey, I'm not crazy. I'm telling you the truth. It's future humans. They're gonna get smaller.
That's interesting. You said that they buried their old technology too, because if you look up with the science research going on in Antarctica, there's some digs going on. Like you could find these huge holes where scientists uncovered something, but they haven't released what they've uncovered, and it might be some ancient technology, which you're mentioning right now.
Yeah, it's all the future technology that's been taken through time, because Nikola Tesla created time travel a long time ago, on the 80s or something like that. I forgot the first successful time travel, whatever. But all my readings, I'm not sure if it's true or not. I'm just saying, So I'm just saying, all those UFOs that people are talking about, they're just AI traveling through time, changing our timeline. That's my opinion. So, with everything that I learned,
it makes sense that different sources would be ancient sources. I mean, we have some weird technology and research going on, especially with CERN. Have you dug into CERN quite a bit?
I read about it, yeah. But this is what people need to think. The ions in the air. We are in tune with the ions. That's why I tell people, aliens can't come here because of the ions. It's different. Even people from the future, they can't come to our present time because the ions are different. People are not learning about the bodies, about our human body, how the air that we breathe has an electrical signal in the air. We're breathing that. That's what the frequency is different on the earth. You can't travel to turn out of that stuff. It's not possible because it's different. The future ions is different than the ones that we have now. In the past, the ions were different. That's why everybody were giants and everything. So we are in tune with the earth, with our mother nature. We cannot. It's hard to me to explain it because, because I learned it my way. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to take the time to understand that you cannot live in Mars because the ions are different from that planet vibration, for that planet frequency. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you have a theory on what Mars is and how it became a vacant planet, pretty much?
No. Every time when I hear people talk about living in other planets and everything, the first thing you have to do is you have to understand that planet frequency, vibration, and energy, and you have to change the human species here on Earth to be able to live in that planet. You understand?
Yeah,
In
that
any
makes
planet.
sense.
So you have to alter the human DNA to be compatible to that planet. So
Okay. Well, where's your research at right now? What kind of things are you looking into currently?
I'm just trying to update my book because I didn't know about the 10,000 years of light, 2,000 years of darkness. I'm almost done. So it's gonna be free for everybody, a free PDF. Anybody who emails me, even it's gonna be on MeWe.
Okay.
It's a website like Facebook where you can download it without asking me. So I'm almost done with that. Then I'm gonna publish just 100 copies, and then I'm just gonna move with my normal life. You know what I mean?
Great.
So
Well, that's a very good thing you're doing, producing a book and spreading the knowledge for free. I mean, that gives you a more legitimate. I mean,
everything is free, you know. So no,
what
this. Go ahead.
once you're completed with your book, send me a link to it. I'll put it on my website, and we'll get as many copies as that out there as we possibly can.
It's gonna be a free PDF. Everybody can share it with everybody. It has all the Sumerian knowledge. It has all the Egyptian knowledge from their temples. Everything is written in stone. It's on their walls. All the Aztec, even the Vatican Temple for the Sixtine Chapel. I decoded everything with astrology, a lot of paintings, everything. So it's all there to all to see and learn, share it, tell people the truth. No more lies. This is not a belief. This is knowledge. That's why religious people, they're based on the belief system. That's a lie. Even when you break the word belief, believing it has the word lie. You have to understand the knowledge. If you're not going to take the effort to understand the knowledge, the ancient temples and everything, you cannot talk. This is knowledge, not a belief.
What's your opinion on what the ancient temples were used for?
It's to document our cycles.
Okay.
It's a documentation of their. For example, the Egyptian, they have to rebuild the civilization. You see, and their reign finished. Their 12,000 years of reign finished. Now it's the Vaticans. They're the ones, King Constantine, the Spaniards. How do you call those people? They're the ones rebuilding civilization now. It's their turn. So, and who knows? And when this 12,000 year cycle is finished, probably China will take a turn in rebuilding civilization. So
it's crazy that almost every temple and even all the big cathedrals in the world currently, where people go to their normal church services, have no idea what is surrounding them on the walls, the paintings, the stained glass windows. They all speak of the cycles of the sun and astrology, and these people they're just blind to what is right in front of their face.
They're blind. The blind, they can't see. So that's the thing. People can't see. They're not ready mentally for it. So
that's one thing that's in the Bible that I actually do believe, where it says, those who have eyes to see and those with ears to hear will be the only ones that understand what's being read. I mean, it takes a thinking person to be able to understand the symbolism of all this. And if everyone lives it their normal day-to-day, going to work all the time, going home, watching TV, and not really putting any thought into reality,
they're not making an effort. Yeah.
They're not, and it's leading to a disastrous situation where the majority of the population will not survive the next age.
Because I think the government is getting tired of babysitting humanity. I think, in my opinion, they want humanity to grow. They want.
They definitely want humanity to go. Otherwise, they would put forth this information to the public, and they're not feeding any of this information.
I think.
And they're doing the opposite too, which they're looking out for themselves. Especially here in America, if you go to Colorado, there's like a giant mountain complex that's underground, and the only people that have access to this mountain are pretty much government officials.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you have to think about humanity too. The people, humanity, the people. I don't think they, in my opinion, the way I see them, like for example, the ones who's supposed to be the nicest right now are supposed to be the judge and the police officers, and the most rudest ones. Mm-hmm. If they rude and they're real crooked and they just think about money, so imagine everybody else. Everybody else is they're not good people. So I understand why. I do understand why the government is doing that way, because people are bad in nature. They're not good, man. So
you kind of agree that the knowledge being hidden and the destruction of a lot of people is a good thing because they're bad people. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm thinking, because you're the 1% who understand. You have that good heart. You're probably in balance, mm-hmm. and I'm balanced because we can see the good and bad. But humanity, the people, if they were really good, like they say they were good, they will study, they will learn and everything. But they're not doing it.
That's true, and it is about balance. I mean, when I think the earth knows how to heal itself too. When the earth comes out of balance, the earth has natural disasters, I think, to keep the balance of nature.
It gets rid of the parasites.
That's true.
That is the people.
It's a cleansing system. The earth knows how to cleanse itself, and humanity is part of that system of nature. So if we become corrupt and poisonous humans, then the earth will destroy us.
And that's what the people are. The people are corrupt and poisonous, right?
Very true.
So that's why that's what I'm saying. Me and you are talking, we understand the knowledge, but the people who don't, they're going to think we're crazy. So those are the ones that are going to be, they're going to be gone because they don't want to accept the truth.
Well, that's one reason I have this radio show, my friend, is to open up this information to the public. And it seems like the more and more, as time goes by, people are becoming more aware of what's true and what's false. And I think all the lies of society are coming to the surface, and people are realizing that. And I call this show the Deprogramming Program. I'm hoping that this will aid in deprogramming society and people can open up a bit.
I'm glad you're doing this, because a lot of people, I had so many people like you contacting me, but once they understood, it went, no, I'm not going to be talking to you, man. I tried contacting Coast to Coast. They looked at me like a crazy guy. I tried getting into the
they have a lot of crazy people on their show. I'm surprised they overlooked you.
Yeah, because I email them a lot.
Well, I have some friends that has been on there, and I have some friends that try to get on there as well. It seems like it's a long process because they have to filter so many people. They get so many different requests to be on their show because they are the biggest ancient mystery show out there. It's hard to get on there.
Yeah. Even the Joe Rogan, I tried so many. It's like, man, people don't. They think.
Well, Joe Rogan, he only brings on the people that are well known, pretty much already.
Yeah, like out of all his talk shows, only one guy knew about the Redstone solar system, but he said that was a theory. No, man, that's not a theory. It's the truth. Only one, but
Well, they consider everything that's written down in ancient society a theory. Although I think a lot of these hieroglyphs, especially in caves, that people uncover in these ancient caves, I think they're warnings to us.
Yeah, when you look at that, you will see seven constellations.
Right, and people look at these old cave drawings thinking that it's some primitive artwork. I think people hid in the caves to try to outlive the disaster of the world that was happening at that time, and they were writing on the caves because they knew the cave paintings would live on after the disaster as a warning to humanity that's what happened.
Yeah, when you look at the cave system, those people in the caves, they actually are constellations.
Okay,
that's the thing. I saying to them, no, man, you have to count. Look, there's 12. There's a 12 constellation. You will count 7 bigger ones. There's 7. Oh, depends how they did it. They're whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I saw some of those, and I counted. The ones were like, they looked like alien beings and everything. No, man, it's just our astrology. They were explaining it. So yeah.
And I think once the symbols are destroyed, then we are left to be destroyed ourselves. I mean, there's no more warnings anymore. We have no. I think our past is erased once the symbols get erased.
Oh yeah, well, all that. Well, we have so many pyramids buried still underground. China is preserving those. They never dig those up, so they're preserving their history underground. So
that's true. That goes along with the ancient Egyptian pyramids. I've always wondered if those pyramids are also. I wonder if there's like a reverse pyramid underneath the pyramid as like a as above, so below thing within the pyramids themselves.
Even the one in Peru, those Perus, they have the oldest one from the probably from wave. We live in wave 5, wave 4 are the pyramids that we see. But imagine seeing a pyramid from wave 3 with those giants, the bigger giants. Like when you see the pyramids from Peru, you will see these steps where they were for giants they were like, probably 15 to 23 feet tall. Mm-hmm. Like, because those steps were built for those giants, but the corporations who were funding these people to dig, they stopped funding them, so they only uncovered the steps and that's it.
Like you mean at like Machu Picchu?
Yeah.
Okay.
You seen them?
Yeah, those are crazy sights, man. I haven't been there in person, but I've actually had a guest on my show that lives down in Peru, and he's talked all about it, and I've researched a little bit in the past, and I would love to go down there and visit them myself. Have you been down there yourself?
No, I can't afford none of that stuff.
That's one of my problems. It's hard to get the money to go to these ancient sites because it's expensive to fly.
Like the little girl Greta, the activist, she's getting funded by those billionaires. Those billionaires know what's going on with the planet Earth. It's a red sun solar system cycle. It's not us destroying the planet. Right. It's the cycle. It's a circle of life.
It makes you wonder why these billionaires want to spread the word of what she's talking about worldwide. I mean, she's talking about climate change, which I believe is a true thing. But why are these billionaires wanting to spread that? Do you think these are good-hearted billionaires?
Well, they know the truth, but they don't. I think the person who's funding her, he probably knows the truth, but they're not spreading the real message. They're just trying to say that we are destroying the Earth, but in reality, it's not us. It's just the red sun solar system awakening the 8 suns. All right, mm-hmm. That's the true reason. We have more nuclear energy, but it's good that they're bringing up the awareness, but they should just tell the truth, not hide the truth. Remember NASA? They made a story of TRAPPIST-1e solar system. You heard about that on January 2017?
No, is that a recent thing?
It happened in 2017. They said they made a major discovery, a solar system, TRAPPIST-1e. That's our red sun solar system. It's not a new discovery. That's the ancient discovery.
Well, they're saying they're discovering these different solar systems all the time nowadays, and who knows what comes out of NASA as being true or not. NASA's got a history of lies, too.
They're the biggest liars, man. Yeah, just look up TRAPPIST-1e, and you will see the poster. It's all red, you know what I mean? Like all the Asian people described it. So that's the ancient discovery. That's what all the ancient people describe. That's when you read the Bible, the 14th constellation is the red sun solar system has many names, many stories. You will know that as David. You will know that as Lucifer. The red sun is Satan. Lucifer is the constellation that holds the red sun and the planets. It moves through the galaxy. For example, in the Egyptian temples, they call it Isis. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's Thoth spacecraft. When you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Thoth says, look for my spacecraft underneath the lion. The lion is the constellation Leo. So you will see the 14th constellation coming through the Leo, through the doorway. You know what I mean?
Right.
They give you the hints through all the cursors, through their stories. And people think it really happened on Earth. No, these are astrological stories where they're telling you where to look for the 14th constellation. For example, they were cast down to the abyss for 1,000 years. They're telling you it's a cycle of 1,000 years. So, but people can't see that. They can't see through the storytelling. They can't see it's all astrological.
It's crazy that a lot of people currently believe still, which is very limited thinking, that we pretty much live in like a bubble and we're the only ones in the whole universe, and there's nothing beyond this bubble which we live in. It's ridiculous. I don't see how people can be so small-minded still.
They have to think. There's other civilizations in other planets, yes, but they go through the same thing in this galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
There's billions of galaxies. In this galaxy, all the other creatures from other planets and other solar system, they go through the same thing that we do, the 2,000 years of darkness. And their civilization will fall as well. Their technology will fall. They all go through it. 10,000 years of light, 2,000 years of darkness. We live in Earth. Let's say there's life in Mars. If there's people who go through the same ice age, you know what I mean? That destroys everything.
Right. Yeah. If there was life on Mars, it died out with the ages, like the Earth will eventually do.
So, and you have to think, they go through their transmutation. They become a different species as well.
That's true, and I was about ready to mention something just like what you're saying. Everything, even the universe itself, goes through an alchemical process of transmutation, and it's just nature. It's a natural process, and you cannot stop it, you can't avoid it, and you can't hide from it. And people think they can run from it and hide within their own religion, but the truth will come to light, and they will realize when it's too late that they can't hide from it.
Yeah, like this one of my viewers that watch my videos, they asked me, "You think the Titans will ever come back?" And I was like, "Well, we have three trinities. The first trinity is our millennium cycle, the red sun solar system. Our second one is the 10,000 years of light, 2,000 years of darkness. Mm-hmm. The one I can't find is our galaxy collision. When that energy becomes new, let's say our galaxy will collide with the galaxy Andromeda. When that galaxy cycle, when the two cells become one and they separate, that's new energy again for our galaxy. I think we become Titans again, but that's just me using philosophy. It's just me thinking the way this galaxy works, okay? So, you know, the galaxy will have a new battery power. You know, right now the battery power is getting drained and we're becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. But once it has its collision, when it's, you know, everything has a cycle, you know? So when our galaxy cycle happens again with whatever galaxy is supposed to mix energy with, that's the return of everything. New radiation, new ions, new everything again. So
very true. And just as an example of that being a truth, a reality,
that's just me thinking philosophy. So.
Well, it's a philosophy based on true science. I mean, of the old alchemists. I've studied alchemy for a little while now, and through practical lab work, you could see that everything is a cycle. You have a little laboratory set up that could represent the cycles of the Earth, and you could tell everything goes through a cycle of birth, death, and resurrection. Repeat. Yeah. And that's what this is. I mean, everything is going to end, and then it'll start over. Yeah, so with that in mind, the Titans will come back. There'll be a new set of Titans.
Yeah, a new form.
Yeah.
Because remember, matter is water, a new energy in water.
Right.
See?
There'll be a new perfected existence.
Along water still exists in Earth. You know what I mean? So.
Very true.
The key of life on Earth is water. So no water, no life.
That's very true. And look at the way society is now too. A lot of people's waters, different societies' waters are poisoned. Look at Flint, Michigan. Their water crisis has still been going on for years and years, and it's not being fixed. That's another sign that the times are going to come to an end soon because we're destroying ourselves.
Yeah, but you have to think about it. I read this article, the guy who did 5 Hour Energy. He's a billionaire right now, right?
Yeah.
So he reinvested all his money on technology. So he created technology where he can go to the ocean with his boats and grab the water from the ocean and make clean water for everybody. You know, he can turn the ocean water into drinkable water, better than the ones we're drinking. But the corporations here in the United States didn't want it because they ain't going to make money off of it. It's all about the corporations. They don't want to, so he took it off here to other countries where they are poor, and he's trying to do it there. So he discovered a lot of clean energy. It's just the corporation running the United States, running the world. They're trying to keep people as a slave species, to keep working. They're trying to keep that wheel going.
Mm-hmm.
When we have resources for everything for free, it's just, we have so many technology. We even got the cure for cancer, but they don't want it because they make more money in donations. So
Exactly. And if you're a practitioner that's trying to cure people of cancer in this country, you're not allowed to do it beyond the realm of radiation medicine and stuff like that. So a lot of these doctors in America that practice holistic healing, they have to go outside the country to do their work and bring it back to America because the government here won't let them do it.
it's all about just,
It's about money.
it's about money.
That's all it is.
Make Yep. We live in like I say, in a fake society. So
We definitely do, and it's exhausting. I don't like living in this kind of artificial reality that we live in America.
yeah, people have forgotten about nature, man. Like I tell people, do you understand how to harvest just in case they were close to grocery stores? People forgotten. You understand how to hunt just in case? People forgotten. So that depends on the grocery stores. So
Right. I mean, well, the grocery stores were good to a point where it did feed the masses,
yeah,
but it did eliminate the practical skills of what you're saying, hunting and gathering. And if there was a natural disaster where you had to rely on those skills of gathering your own food, most people around here do not have those skills anymore, and
they're forgotten.
yeah, they're not going to live that long.
Yeah, like in Puerto Rico, that happened. They lost all that stuff, and they went hungry for months. You know what I mean? And they even had the water and the chips, but they didn't unload none of the food. You see?
Yeah,
So it's like
they were completely out of balance. They didn't have everything they need. So, yeah, a lot of people there did not survive that crisis.
a lot of people, yeah, passed away, and they had the resources, but now the corporations did not want to unload the boats to give it to the people who needed it. So it's like, man, who was the people running this? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Now, with your research and what's to come, have you done any preparation yourself, or
oh yeah, man.
what
I
have
have
you
a
done yourself?
I have a family of four,
Okay.
so I save food for up to, like, the dry food. I forgot the name of the brand, but it's dry food for up to 7 years. I saved
Okay.
just in case. But when I looked at the military, they said, they're expecting this to happen by the year 2025. Well, the sea water rises by the year 2025. That's why they constructed all these underground water tunnels. They made a contract. It's on my page. On my if you want it, it's on my Facebook page.
Okay.
In the beginning, they talk about it. Where they made a contract with these people for these underground water tunnels has to be completed by the year 2025 because of the seawater rises and the rivers to
So,
control
is
towards something.
so those are just like big drains that they're building right now for when that
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, for the year 2025. So this is supposed to probably happen by the year 2025. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
already happening because if you seen Venus,
Hmm.
that country, that place is almost, even Puerto Rico, some of the coastlines, well, the one coastline is already almost gone. So, it's rising slowly every year. So,
I keep hearing within the past week there's these small, a bunch of them, but they're small earthquakes going on. I heard even in Cleveland, I think yesterday, Cleveland had a small earthquake, which is very odd.
yeah, we have nuclear summer, nuclear winter for 200 years. So,
Right.
the
So
eight
yeah.
suns
So
are
these
waking.
small things are just going to keep growing into huge events, big earthquakes, big waves coming crashing through, and yeah.
That's what I told my dad. I told my dad, the four horsemen of the apocalypse are the four seasons. So, those are the four horsemen, the four angels, the four archangels. Those are the four seasons. So, they have more power for 200 years.
Does your family believe this kind of stuff too?
No, because it's our program. Humanity has been programmed not to think about it nowadays things, so they think I'm crazy. So especially my brothers and sisters and my dad, they're religious. As you can know, my last name, the Jesus.
Oh yeah.
So they believe in that they're gonna be saved and raptured by the God Almighty. I said, no, man, the God Almighty is the red sun. Rapture means, I never found that, but if it's the only thing I understand is that when I studied the pyramid of Ecuador, this is a little pyramid, the solar system had had a red sun and 4 planets. Now she has 7 planets. So that means that she moves planets around. I'm telling people, no, rapture means that the solar system can move the planet Earth. I guess that's why the Statue of Liberty is there, because it's a June to July. Freedom, because the planet Earth was not moved. And people, what the hell are you talking about? I say, hey, when you look at all the ancient temples, she had 4 planets, then she has 6, now she has 7, because I'm thinking she took Pluto with her in this last cycle. On 2014, I think she took the planet Pluto with her in her millennium cycle.
Didn't they say Pluto's not even a planet now?
Yeah, I think that
might have to do with it.
Yeah, I think they're saying that. And when I read those things, I said I think the 14th constellation, because she had 4 planets and wave 3 or something. Then she has 6 planets. Now she has another one. So I'm thinking that's Pluto that she took with her. So this solar system can move the planet Earth. You do understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking with the religious people saying, oh, I'm going to be saved, rapture taken. No, it's just saying that our Earth can be moved. It's not you guys, it's the planets.
Right. The planet itself then could be considered almost like a spaceship itself at times.
Yeah, that's all those spaceships that people see in the caves and everything, that's the Earth moving through the galaxy. It's not we live in Earth. Those little aliens inside that spaceship?
That's us.
It's Earth and us in it. You see, moving through the galaxy. It's not what the ancient aliens or ancient alien history channel is telling you.
That's probably why we haven't had the normal alien contact that people have been waiting on for a long time. Because not
they're misinterpreting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, they're misinterpreting the drawings and the designs. So no, man, that's Earth, and we live inside the Earth. We're moving through the galaxy. That little alien you see in there, that's us.
That's an interesting concept. I mean, maybe that's what all these planets are too. They're just different spaceships.
Yes, yeah, it's just a planet, but it's us in that spacecraft. So, but people don't see it that way. They think it's really an alien spacecraft and aliens in it. No. So,
well, that's crazy. Well, that's the product too of being lied to in the education system and whatever. People tend to come up with these off-the-wall beliefs, and some of them are true, and some can be out of outer space.
It's the human imagination.
That's what it is. Crazy. But I guess that's a good thing, though, that humans still have the imagination.
Yeah, I love the stories. I love all those things, but no, man, we need to stop that.
Yeah, we need to stop the mass brainwashing.
Yeah, and the thing is, the elite people, they can't do it on their own. I know they're communicating with the people from the future. They're communicating. But it's wrong to keep a society brainwashed. And that's not the only thing, because I remember talking to this one guy. He said to me, no, that's the whole point, to us to learn from our mistakes, so when we pass to the next round, we know. I said, no, man, this knowledge has been around it's wrong. If we understand our knowledge and we know the truth, why keep people stupid? It's not because to us to learn from it. It's to keep people, to control people, to keep us as slaves.
That's all it is, yes.
That's but he's like a guru or whatever. He said, no, it's just to us to learn from our. I said, no, man, it's wrong. And I don't care what you say, it's wrong. So
it's not to learn from our mistakes, because there's knowledge out there. I personally think it's a warning, because the ancient people, they went through these cycles. They know. Yeah. So it's a warning to us that it's going to happen again.
Yeah. It's always going to happen again.
Yeah. So
that's the way this Earth, this galaxy is. It's a cycle, and we need to prepare for it and understand it. So.
And I guess that would be one point of learning from the mistakes. Maybe people in the past weren't ready for it, and people like us who know it's coming, we can prepare ourselves and try to prepare others, which is what you're doing by bringing this out into the public eye right now.
Yeah, because this cycle, okay, we have what into the year. Okay, we have 200 years of climate change. So by the year 2217, the eight suns go back to sleep. So we have 800 years of normal climate. Then the red sun comes back in the year 3016. The same thing is going to happen. Then again 4016, 5016, all the way up to the year 1016. That will be the last, like I said, 1,000. The 1,000 years from sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Then the 2,000 years of darkness will come. Then there's going to be an announcement. We're taking people to live underground in underground cities. So those who will go live underground will be saved, but everybody will stay above will freeze, will turn into stones like all the ancient people did. They turn into stones.
And that's what happened with the giants. There's actually a researcher, his name's Roger Spur. I've had him on my show a couple of times. And he has this university called Mud Fossil University.
Yeah.
And through his studies, he's found that the Earth crust is completely made of giants, and how the giants' bodies turn to stone. So what you're saying is completely true.
I will say the first species were titans, then the seconds were titans,
Mm-hmm.
then the third giants, then other former giants, then we are the fifth. So
That's exactly what Roger Spur's research has proven, that there's a layer of titans on the earth and then
Yep.
a layer of giants on the earth, and that's what the stone crust of the earth is. It's the bodies of giants that turn to stone.
I always tell people, the Egyptian had this technology. No, man, giants built the pyramids. It shows you in the temples. They carried 2 stones. You know what I mean? The giants built the pyramids.
Right. There's also, have you seen, I forget where that is. I'm going to try to look it up now, but there's a huge staircase somewhere made of stone next to, I think, probably like a mountain or something.
Yeah,
but it's a perfectly made staircase, and you see people standing on it, and it's
that's Peru. Yeah,
it's a staircase that was made for giants.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking to you earlier.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
That those giants were like what, 30 feet tall or something? What the hell?
Oh yeah, that's the one in Peru that you mentioned. Yes, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the one they cut the funding to stop digging. You see?
They cut the funding because they knew what they were going to get into, and they didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, they cut the funding on that one because those are really, that's what I'm saying. Those were not wave 4 giants from the Egyptian. Those were earlier, I think wave 3. So those are the big ones.
Right.
So
there's also another thing in America called, have you heard of Devil's Tower National Monument? It's in Wyoming. It's like a kind of like a mountain with a flat top to it.
Yeah. There's another one. There's some in Peru too, where they cover it up with dirt. Yeah.
Some say that's like a giant's foot coming out of the ground, that Devil's Tower. And Roger Spur, who came on the show, said that somehow the blood of the giants also had a lot of gold in it. And the way this giant was laid on the ground for his foot to come out to make Devil's Tower, there's probably a lot of gold if you dig underneath Devil's Tower.
Yeah, it's crazy when you have somebody who understands the anatomy and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you have somebody who has an open mind, who is a doctor, and will see, you look at nature and say, "Oh, that was a living thing," and you go, "What are you talking about?" Because you don't have the knowledge, you would think he's crazy. But once you understand the knowledge and anatomy and everything, you will see the same thing he's seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, reality itself changes. I mean,
your mind will change. Like I tell people, when you're in my page, remember the old you, because you're not gonna be the same. Even people listening to your show right now, they're not gonna be the same person that they were an hour and 13 minutes ago. You know what I mean?
Exactly. This is leading to their own personal transmutation themselves.
Their mind, the doorways in their mind are gonna open. So.
And they're either they step through or they get scared and turn the radio off right now.
Yeah, they have to make the choice to see it for themselves. So, and it is all out there to them to see, especially in the Statue of Liberty. All the knowledge is right there. In the Sistine Chapel, remove the paintings. It's all right there.
And also, look at the the big circular stained glass window at let's say like the big Notre Dame cathedral that just caught on fire. That big, and every cathedral has these giant circular stained glass windows that are divided into 12 sections.
Yeah, you got it.
That's all that is just a zodiacal symbol right there with the 12 signs of the zodiac, and the sun right in the middle.
Yeah. They have to understand 10,000 years of light, 2,000 years of darkness. It's that simple, man.
Right, and that's all. Like even the ancients called the stars a map.
Yeah.
And it's a map, and if you can decode the map and understand it, then you can kind of guide your living and plan out the way you should live.
Yeah, like the Egyptians call it as above, so below, and what they call it, the wheel within the wheel.
Mm-hmm. And well, that's the zodiac just translates right into the wheel. That's all zodiac is wheel, which means a wheel of the stars.
Yeah, the wheel above is the galaxy, and the wheel below, the Earth, 365 days around the yellow sun. You see?
Yes, very true.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, on that note, seems like a really good stopping point, my friend.
All right.
It's been a pleasure having you on my show.
Same way. Like, next time when you want to talk about one subject, like we can pick like who is Lucifer, who is God, one subject like that, so we don't confuse the people. So many different things,
That's a great topic because I've dug into that recently, and I didn't really get into some trouble discussing Lucifer as not being Satan, but some people had a problem with me discussing that. I'll tell you more after the show.
But just remember, Lucifer is the 14th constellation, hosts the red sun and 6 planets. The red sun is Satan. So there you go. It's that simple.
Right.
But people does not understand what a constellation is. So
they don't. They just think it's like just a star that represents nothing really.
Yeah.
All
right, man. Nice. I'm glad you had me on your show. You've been the first one. Thank you, man.
Anytime, my friend, and I look forward to talking to you again. Let's plan another one sometime soon.
Just contact me and we can pick a subject. One thing, just look at all my stuff. I'm done with my PDF pretty soon. I send it to you, and you just pick whatever you want from my book. All right.
Sounds good. Real quick, give our listeners your website. Where can they find your information and your videos?
Okay, I'm always on Facebook and then YouTube. I make videos. The name is Humanity Ancient History. All right. It's all about all the ancient cultures, even our religious temples. I decoded everything. Everything is the stars, and they repeat themselves over and over and over again. It's the same story being retold, the same code. It's simple. Understand the 12 above and the 12 below, and you will see through all. That's it.
All right, Emilio, it was good talking to you.
Thank you, Rodney.
Enjoy your evening, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was Emilio DeJesus from Pennsylvania discussing astrology and the ages of the world and what's to come. I'm your host, Rodney McGilvery, and this is Ancient Mysteries Revisited on Welch 95.7 FM in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Coming to you every Mondays and Wednesdays at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on WELT 95.7 and streaming live at WELTFM.com. And we are the Deprogramming Program.